Now there were two possessions of the James Dillingham Youngs in which they both took a mighty pride. One was Jim's gold watch that had been his father's and his grandfather's. The other was Della's hair. Had the Queen of Sheba lived in a flat across the air shaft, Della would have let her hair hang out the window to dry just to depreciate Her Majesty's jewels and gifts. Had King Solomon been the janitor, with all his treasures piled up in the basement, Jim would have plucked out his watch every time he passed, just to see him pull at his beard from envy. So now Della's beautiful hair fell about her, rippling and shining in a cascade of brown. It reached below her knee and made itself almost a garment for her. And then she did it up again, nervously and quickly. Once she faltered for a minute and stood still while a tear or two splashed on the worn red carpet. On went her old brown jacket, on went her old brown hat. With the whirl of skirts and with the brilliant sparkle still in her eyes, she fluttered out the door and down the stairs to the street. Where she stopped, the sign read,
Madame Sofronie, hair goods of all kinds.
One flight up Della ran and collected herself, panting. Madame, large, too white, chilly, hardly looked the Sofronie.
Will you buy my hair?
I buy hair. Take your hat off. Let's have a sight at the looks of it.
Down rippled the brown cascade. Madame lifted the mass with a practiced hand.
$20.
Give it to me quick. Don't say your hand. It's hard to part with all I have. Please take it all fast as you can. For once you start, I can't turn back. Give it to me quick. Thank you, madame. Now all I own is in my hand. I hope that it will be enough to buy one thing that shows my love.
Oh, and the next 2 hours tripped by on rosy wings. She was ransacking the stores for Jim's present. She found it at last. It surely had been made for Jim and no one else. There was no other like it in any of the stores, and she had turned all of them inside out. It was a platinum fob chain, simple and chaste in design, properly proclaiming its value by substance alone and not by meretricious ornamentation, as all good things should do. It was even worthy of the watch. As soon as she saw it, she knew that it must be Jim's. It was like him, quietness and value. The description applied to both.
Give it to me quick, the one that shines before I've time to change my mind. We've got so many bills to pay, but the watch he wears begs a change.
$21 they took from her for it, and she hurried home with the 87 cents. With that chain on his watch, Jim might be properly anxious about the time in any company. Grand as the watch was, he sometimes looked at it on the sly on account of the old leather strap that he used in place of a chain. When Della reached home, her intoxication gave way a little to prudence and reason. She got out her curling irons and lighted the gas and went to work repairing the ravages made by generosity added to love, which is always a tremendous task, dear friends, a mammoth task. Within 40 minutes, her head was covered with tiny, close-lying curls that made her look wonderfully like a truant schoolboy. She looked at her reflection in the mirror long, carefully, and critically.
If Jim doesn't kill me before he takes a second look at me, he'll say I look like a Coney Island chorus girl. But what could I do? Oh, what could I do with $1.87?
At 7 o'clock, the coffee was made and the frying pan was on the back of the stove, hot and ready to cook the chops. Jim was never late. Della doubled the fob chain in her hand and sat on the corner of the table near the door that he always entered. Then she heard his step on the stair, away down on the first flight, and she turned white for just a moment. She had a habit for saying a little silent prayer about the simplest everyday things, and now she whispered,
Please, God, make him think that I am still pretty. Please, God, make him think that I am still pretty. Lord, I know not how to pray, but you listen anyway to my small and hopeful, small and hopeful, small and hopeful prayers. Please, God, make him think that I am still